Okay.
We're back.
We're back.
Come
Good afternoon. Well, it's afternoon over here, anyways, in Tiger Pit CrossFit. We've been painting up a storm this morning. Don't worry, you'll see when you get back in.
No, you see it on the ground.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's other painting been going on.
Come on.
It's not on the ground.
Oh,
Yeah.
Some of us. Yeah. Anyways. Okay. So, all right. So what we're going to do today is we're gonna shoot a bit from the hip again. Talk about things that we think are relevant to CrossFit, your CrossFit journey, and just general CrossFit. Right. So we're going to talk. We want to get to mindset, and the mindset of doing CrossFit, and also the mindset that you have while doing CrossFit, and why we do what we do, and a few questions that's going to kind of lead us in that direction. All right. So I'm going to put it to the panel, put it to the group.
That's right.
Okay, I'll ask Faber, because Faber loves this thing. He talks
Oh,
too
come on.
Faber.
I'm open.
So,
I'm just keeping it real, bro.
yeah, well, I mean, do your thing, bro. Do your thing. All right. So, CrossFit, yeah.
Yes.
Toughest part of CrossFit. Talk to me. Toughest part of CrossFit. If you take the whole thing as a whole, the whole thing. What is the toughest part? Is your toughest part arriving here? Is the toughest part getting yourself warmed up? Is the toughest part doing a thruster? Is the toughest part running?
Sheesh, that's a
What
good
is
question.
the toughest part? What is the toughest part of CrossFit?
Caught me off guard there. I think the toughest part of CrossFit, I mean, just from my opinion, would be for me, working on your weaknesses, because I feel like that takes time, and sometimes in the world we live in, I'm just saying this as the generation we live in, you don't want to take the time, or take the time that it takes to progress on the stuff you're bad at. You don't want to do the stuff you're bad at, because you feel like, there's one thing is, if I'm not going to be good at it now, what's the point, because I'll never be good at it. So for me, it's having it could be certain movements, or it could be, say, some people's pacing. I don't know, but it could be certain aspects of CrossFit that you're not great at, and then having the patience to do them over and over again until you become better. Yeah. That was, for me, that's one of the hardest parts about CrossFit. Because you can't walk into a CrossFit gym and you're amazing at everything. There's going to be holes 100%. Somewhere.
Yeah.
You know.
Huge.
Yeah.
I think working at weakness is what you're saying. That's hardest part.
Hardest part.
Hardest part, knowing you have a flaw.
You will have a flaw.
And then diving into it instead of reluctantly saying, when this thing comes around, I'm just going to
stab.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then in that moment feel disappointed. Not
because you're not,
all the time trying to work on it.
It's almost like you feel like, oh, you know what, I'm just going to forget about it, and when it comes up, then I might be better.
I'll try attack it and see
but
where
it's
I'm
not.
at.
It's you just lying to yourself.
I don't know, Mags, is it worth asking you this question? I mean, when you do a board talk and it's 500 thrusters at 60 kilos per minute. This is a fun workout.
It's a really good one.
Good one, guys. We are gonna flip and die. So you did sound away, but yeah. What is the toughest part for you? Do you have a toughest part?
So the first thing that came to my mind, it was the first maybe 2 minutes of the workout. It's just the hard time, because you think like it's still so much to go, and then you just kind of need to be in that zone where just keep going. Okay, it's the beginning, but I'm able to stick with the pace, and I'm able to get through it, and actually as you go it becomes easier. Many times.
Well,
yeah.
It's the initial heart rate, you jack your heart rate.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And you're breathing like an asthmatic mule, and you're like and then you're like, oh, what am I got myself into? And then it's that trusting yourself, your body, the work you put in, that, you know, your body will warm up, your breathing will become better, and yeah, you'll enjoy the workout. But it's funny when I coach and I see people like really unhappy, like, you know, on the floor and like, you know, faces like this, you know.
Yeah.
And then after workout, yeah, I really enjoyed that. Like, to look like it.
100%. 100%. It doesn't, I think that is the funny thing.
Yeah.
I think
That's CrossFit, man.
you never get used to that zone you talk about, where you're in that place where it's like, and it sucks.
Yeah,
We're
man.
gonna get there, please.
Sorry, I'm jumping in.
I mean,
Sorry.
it's fine. I mean, it's cool. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Okay, so I want to ask you a question because you are. I'm not saying this biasly because she's my wife, but I mean, you are a person that I know your ability. We've trained together we did Ironmans together. We know, so I know your ability, and for your ability, you are able to go into the suck and then stay there happily.
With a smile.
Happily, like you don't look cheerful about it, but you are willing to go there and uncompromisingly stay there. Whereas if I train, like we train together a lot now, and we're doing all these things I'm really good at, but it's you will go there and I'm there with you, but then I will negotiate my way out of it in my head, where you won't. So what is that about? maybe it's because you had 3 kids. Maybe it's because you like. I mean, pregnancy must be like that. It's like you have no choice. It's go time.
It's like when your baby wakes up in the middle of the night and they need feeding. You're like, you have no choice.
It's no choice. Is that maybe something? But I mean, is that something that you've cultivated? Is it something that you know?
I think it's like.
You must stop saying you know.
You know. No, it's. I don't know. I think the fitter you get, I think, and the more comfortable you come at movements, you can hold it there. It will always suck, like rich bones, you know, that really sucked or that sucked, you know. It does. It's really hard. But I think when it comes to the more skilled stuff, which I need to spend time on, that's where I'll fall off, you know. So, as you say about weaknesses and stuff, I am prepared to take myself to the dark place, 100%. But it's just now it's just cultivating the skill, as well as those movements that I may be strong at, and learn to take myself to there in those high-skilled gymnastic-y movements. Because you know, I'm still cross to my parents for not sending me to gymnastics when I was small.
Yeah.
So it would have really helped me a lot. So, no, I don't know. Is that the right question?
No,
is that the right answer?
Oh, well, there is no right answer. Just interested. All right. So when so this is maybe directed at people that are doing CrossFit that have just started their journey, because we've had a lot of new people come in.
Right.
So people have started their journey in CrossFit and they may be 6 months in, maybe even a year into this CrossFit journey. What do you guys, I'll put it to you first, Faith, what do you guys find the most challenging in the beginning? Not like the first question would be is like, what's the toughest part of CrossFit? Or in the beginning, what did you find most challenging? For some people, initially it was daunting coming through the doors, you know, seeing what do you find in the beginning was quite challenging?
I would say in the beginning, it's just the sheer amount of skills you need to get used to.
It's overwhelming, isn't it?
It's a lot of skills. I'm not saying it's a lot of skills. So if we just take, you've got the barbell skills. There's a lot, like doing an overhead squat with PVC pipe. The first time you do that, my word, your body's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's unnatural. It's like completely unnatural. And then there's loads of things like that. Then learning how to clean. And then from learning to clean, learning to snatch. Then just forget the barbell. Now you've got body weight movements. Yeah. Can you do a handstand push-up? No, just do it. Just do a handstand hold.
Handstand and then a push-up. How does that work?
A handstand. I don't think I can hold my own body weight. And then from there,
I don't think I can get upside down.
Exactly. And then it's handstand. Then it's toes to bar. Hang on the bar. Give me some strict pull-ups. And now keep doing pull-ups. You got to learn to. It's like it's a world of new skills that
I
you
mean,
don't
you say to
even know.
somebody, you say to a new
Like a
person,
whole-
toast to bar,
Language.
and they're like, I can do this. They lie back and they flip and work those toes up to that bar.
Bro, yeah, somehow.
Somehow, and made it to the top and touch the thing. Okay, now do
1
50.
rep, non-stop.
It's so cheap.
I do 50.
50.
And
that's an
don't break him
emotional
up.
Yeah,
In one
it's
go.
like, okay, we have to progress, we have to regress to chest, knee to chest, and then
Yeah, I know.
And it is, and I think it's a lot on because first you have to learn it, and then your body has to get used to moving like that.
Yeah.
And then
So
once you know that, it's like okay, now it's now that's in my subconscious. I know how to do that. Okay, I know how to kick. Okay, now I got that down.
Yeah,
Cool,
yeah.
now I got this. Now I can go for
He
a few
put
reps.
together, it goes out the window.
And it gets to work and like, I'm gonna eat this one. I've been working on kill pull-ups and you start and about 10 reps in your shoulders are like, no, I got nothing left to go. That's all, you know what I mean? But yeah, for me, the hardest part at the beginning is just learning the skills. Learning the volume, the vast amount of skills that you need in CrossFit.
Yeah, I think, the hardest part for me, the older I'm getting, I think the hardest part for me is my injuries. I think, for CrossFit because, I really love CrossFit and obviously I played a lot of sport before this, but it's just kind of, not injuries like I get injured by CrossFit, no, it's not that, it's like, I've had ankle operations, I've had knee operations, I've, pulled a few ligaments, I've torn stuff, so I've had children, it's just looking after those elements and then trying to do CrossFit well. So that for me is managing my body is probably one of the toughest things about CrossFit. Because in my mind mentally I just want to do these things and go to that dark place or like loads of times but then it's like but I can't do that all the time otherwise you'll be broken so it's a recovery aspect and I think spending time on that and the recovery and that's I think for me is a hard part of CrossFit.
Oh, recovery,
Because it takes time, isn't it?
It does take time.
And you have to invest in that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
So it marries well.
Yeah, but I mean, we need to work on that big time.
But then what would you like, okay, this is a question more for you guys. What would you say, because obviously, like, if you're a CrossFitter and you're trying to improve your CrossFit, okay, and like, obviously now, in CrossFit, there's loads of different programs there's loads of different things that you can do to improve your CrossFit. Would you say working on one element at a time is a way to do it? Or would you say, sort of like, okay, so you've got a basis of, okay, I'm going to work on my Olympic lifting, I'm going to work on my gymnastics, I'm going to work on my cardio as separate elements, or I'm just going to do CrossFit. Like we did yesterday in that affiliate workout. Like that sucked, and that was 20 minutes. And after that, I was like, my body feels broken. Like, but would you say doing that all the time is the best, or would you say like, would you do a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of that? Like, what is the best way? Because I wouldn't. Is it? But it's like.
I don't even think it's controversial. I think.
It just was in the tin.
I think. Okay, this is what I think, and I actually don't care what other people anyway.
That's right.
This is what I think. And why do I say this? Because I've got 20 years of experience.
Yeah.
I'm 39. I've been in the gym since I've been 14, actively in the gym. I started managing gyms at the age of 20. I've been living in gyms for years. I've done mostly every training methodology you can conceive. So when I speak about the stuff, I speak from a place of knowing. I'm not speaking from a place of I stumbled into CrossFit 3 years ago and now I think I know anything. I know that it's 20 years of experience. So when you join a box, you should have the nonce or the know-how to go and find out what the owner, what their training method, what their thought is behind what they are doing. Have a conversation with them. What do you think about this? What do you think about this? Well, pick his brain to kind of figure out where this guy is at. Because if the person that you're buying into, the gym that you're buying into, hasn't got a track record or a run-up, then what you're buying into is just someone's experiment. Well, this is not an experiment. We've experimented 20 years before this. Well, I have, and now I've gotten people involved. So when I speak about those things, we've realized now with CrossFit, it's about doing CrossFit. Olympic lifting is Olympic lifting. And Olympic lifting is geared toward a 1 rep max snatch, a 1 rep max squat clean, and jerk, and then whatever else. It's not geared toward, yes, if am I a good Olympic lifter, yes, it will transfer to CrossFit, but then I'm doing CrossFit. I'm no longer doing Olympic lifting. Matt Fraser doesn't still do, he doesn't go to Olympic lifting meets and does Olympic lifting. He's got a huge Olympic lifting background, which has helped him in his CrossFit Olympic lifting. This is my personal opinion. Gymnasts have a great platform when they come into CrossFit.
Yeah, because they've got that.
But they don't go and do gymnastic meets.
Yeah.
And everybody's body is different. So the generic that they push at gymnastics, straight body, toes in the air, walk like
CrossFit's
this.
more endurance.
CrossFit is now get on your hands and sprint for 50 meters.
Yeah.
Do they do that in gymnastics? Do they sprint for 50 meters as a race? No, they don't, because that's CrossFit. That's a training method. So in my personal opinion, after all said and done, I'm talking from a place of having done the heavy lifting stuff, having done the Olympic lifting Iranian coach, having done the gymnastics coach, having done all those things, coming to the end of all of that and realizing all of that is cool and it gives you a bit of a base, but the reality is the more CrossFit you do, the better you become at CrossFit.
That's right.
And that's what that is. Because if you're doing 20 bar muscle ups into 5 squat snatches at 80 kilograms, that's CrossFit. That's CrossFit. So I think do more CrossFit. Rich Froning doesn't do a strength cycle. Matt Fraser doesn't do those things. What they do is CrossFit.
They layer it into their programming.
They
layer it in.
They do CrossFit. So that's just my.
There's strength dominance in their programming, but it's coupled with CrossFit. So they're forever touching on everything, all the time. All the time.
And
and that's bring adaptation, doesn't it?
Yeah, because you're never going to get a CrossFit. Well, you might have the odd event where it's like 1 hour and clean or snatch, but they don't even judge you on technique, or they just say, can you lift this bar over your head?
If you go into most sports, there's one energy system for that sport, right? But you have 3 energy systems. Then there's one movement pattern for that sport, but you have hundreds of movement patterns. Then you've got load, then you've got without load, then you've got compound movement, you've got anterior, you've got posterior, you've got overhead, you've got pulling off the ground. You've got all those things that you have to take in mind when you're making a program. And that's CrossFit. So if you're doing ice skating, you might not get your heart rate up to a certain level, you might be moving in all kinds of dimensions, but you're not lifting load. But ice skating is ice skating. So when I talk about CrossFit, I'm talking about if I do CrossFit, I can be a better ice skater because the CrossFit has got general physical preparedness, which generally physically prepares me for everything.
That's right.
Not just for, so I mean that's a podcast for another time. But I mean, and I can talk about these things for hours, but it is to me is if you want to get better at CrossFit, do CrossFit. If you want to get better at CrossFit, do CrossFit. I'm stronger than I was when I was 22, weighing 100 kilograms, playing full-time rugby. I'm now stronger at nearly 40. I can squat more, I can deadlift more, I can do everything more, and I weigh 15 kilograms less.
That's great.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I was playing full-time professional rugby. So, but I'm doing CrossFit. There you go.
Good answer.
Hey, CrossFit!
Yeah, anyways. Okay, so let's just go back to mindsets. We're talking mindsets.
Mindsets, come on.
20 minutes in, there you go. Okay. If you're doing CrossFit, right, and you're coming into classes, and that little, when the 3, 2, 1 goes, and the adrenaline's pumping, and everything's going, and we're moving forward, the music's pumping, you've got the Frenchman in the background, giving it a drive. You know what I'm talking about. You're missing him, you know what I'm saying? And there we got some new tunes as well. So,
that's right.
anyways.
Out of Africa, but you can't take Africa out of the girls, right?
So you're a little bit into this workout, and suddenly you stop hearing the Frenchman, and the coach doesn't make sense to you, and the guy next to you is kind of becoming a mirage. You're feeling things coming up here that resembles a night out in the town. You know,
Things are.
things just not feeling normal.
Yeah.
And your brain is saying stop and get out of this place. Retract your membership. Never ever come back.
Yeah.
That's called the dark place, okay? That's now you're in the dark place, okay? Let me Mags, let me ask you, because I asked the favor before. When you're in the dark place, do you push, do you stay, or do you go?
So it depends when you're in your workout, like you don't want to get to that dark place where you completely slow down and you still have 10 minutes to go. You know, everyone's got different kind of pace, and you know, you should know your capacity more or less.
Yeah.
So if it's 20 minutes workout, you know how to pace yourself.
Yeah.
Through the middle of the workout, okay, you feel already warmed up, you can push a bit harder. And then, but you still have in your head to have that last minute to go really hard. So if it's last 5 minutes, you want to stay in that place where you just feel like you want to just get out of this place.
Yeah, you're fighting in your mind.
You fight, but there's no time to even think because you know it's gonna soon be over. So you stay there.
Okay.
5 minutes. Really.
Let me ask you this.
The last minute.
European Championships, the last 2 minutes of the calorie row and the burpees over the rower.
Insert clip here.
Where were you at?
Can you just recap the workout for our audience, please?
Oh dear.
12-minute EMOM.
12 minutes EMOM. So every minute there was no.
Calorie row, isn't it?
How many calories?
8, no 7. 7
Was it 7 for ladies, 10 for the? 10
Was
for
it?
the- Yeah.
7 for the
calories.
ladies.
Yeah, 7 calories. Then you jump. Then you go into max burpees for the remaining time. Now the good thing is that they took the calories if the calories jumped over once you jump off the rower. It still counts for the next round, so that's a good thing
Oh, wow.
because.
Sure.
You pull hard all the way to the end till it's 7 on the rower, and then you jump on again. It's like 8 or 9, and like, oh, it's good. Like it keeps you going.
And you have to go into 14.
And then you just go till 14.
That's sweet.
That's sweet.
That was a good thing.
That's handy.
Yeah.
Slobber coming on my nose.
And then
Not coming on my nose. And it's like just you know you don't care anymore. You know. I know in the open when I don't care anymore. When I start spitting in the flippin' gym.
all this is like slowly hanging out.
Yeah, snotty's coming out. I spit in the gym. You just don't care anymore.
Okay, it's so negative.
And that's the dark place. Yeah. So.
No, that was very. There's no time to think. You know it's gonna hurt. You know you need to give all in those 12 minutes. There's no time to rest. So yeah, it really hurts. Like after 6 minutes, probably you think, man, that must be like 10 minutes.
So
That must be. That must be close to the end. And then you halfway.
Oh my
No.
God, that's the worst.
That's
You say
the worst.
halfway and you die. And you're like, oh, another half.
It's crazy. For me, I think. Sorry, thank you.
Yeah. So in those 12 minutes, it's very hard to pace yourself. Like in that kind of workout.
Isn't it? It's a competition. So
Yeah, and it's max effort, so every round counts. Like you can't kind of make it up because every second counts. If you lose it, then you lose it. Like it's over. So it's kind of difficult to pace yourself.
She did very well in that workout, I must say. You got like,
I was actually surprised.
yeah. How many burpees again? Like 170.
Something.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Yeah,
You were
well.
next to a girl that
Yeah.
woman didn't. I mean, she was nuts.
She didn't
Yeah.
stop.
No,
She
she
did
was
not start. And
on
she
the
probably won
whole
that. She probably won that.
But Maria Jenkins, shout out to you, girl.
She probably
You're
won that
amazing.
event.
She didn't stop.
Yeah.
No, man, she's amazing.
But and you were next to her.
Irish badass.
You know, you need to. What do you do there?
No, I just wanted to say, I think when you're in that dark place, for me it differs. If it's a workout or movement that I enjoy, I feel like, yeesh, let's go. Like I can battle. If it's a workout where I know the
It's a
movements-
weakness, like a
yeah,
movement's a weakness.
I'm out. I'm like, I'll pull myself
so
out.
hard, dog.
It's so hard for me when I know I'm bad at movement and then I'm dying to be like, now get on the bar, and my head just like, I don't
How am I
really
gonna
want
do
to.
it?
You're
How
battling
am I
your
gonna do
mind,
it?
you
Yeah.
spend like 3 seconds battling your mind, like just go on the bar and you're like, I don't really want to. But whereas you say, so it's a movement you enjoy, burpees as an example, or you know you've got it in your arsenal, you're like, and now it starts to suck.
Yeah.
In your head you're like, flip, okay, let's go, let's try and, because
Yeah,
it's a
that-
strength, it's nice.
Yeah, there's also a way you kind of need to switch your mindset. Like I've noticed in you, that's not a shot, but but like you kind
7 days, babe.
I think I just built a shield. I did.
you kind of
Tell us,
like
man.
Here we go,
Tell
mate.
us.
okay.
No, it's good, we're being open.
No, we've been real.
You
with each
kind
other.
of feel like if it's gone, then it's gone, it's over, like your pull-ups, and then you can't do 5 pull-ups, then you just take like a minute rest till you jump again. Instead of doing singles or something that keeps you going, you know, allows you to actually keep moving
I think
and
you're
chip
right.
the reps away.
Yeah,
and
no, 100%. I think that is a huge weakness.
I
I think it's for a lot of people.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted to say about the dark place. Okay, so if you want to overcome the dark place, the dark place, it's not even. I don't even like saying dark place. It's just the suck.
Yeah.
When it sucks at its peak, at its worst.
Yeah.
This is how you overcome it. Exactly what you just said. Is instead of taking that 2-minute
Yeah.
break, that 1 minute step away, 45 seconds,
Let's contemplate
you
life.
know, contemplating life or
That's
just
it.
packing it in. You
Keep going.
moving, even if it's exceptionally slow.
Mm.
That is how you overcome it.
That's right.
You need
Yeah,
to
100%.
just keep moving.
100%.
If it means your burpee is like onto your knees, then onto your tummy, then back up to your knees, and back up, and you know
Very true,
you've
man.
got drool coming out everywhere. It doesn't matter.
Mm.
Just keep moving.
100%.
Yeah.
That is, and it doesn't matter if it's a weakness or whatever it is.
Mm.
That is where the dark place gets.
Mm.
If you have to break it to singles, break it to singles. That's my
Yes.
take on that.
No, I agree.
True.
I think it's quite
Absolutely.
easy for us as athletes to, in your head when you're in a workout, to when you can't do something, to beat yourself up about it, rather than saying, okay, even if you just do 1 more rep,
Yeah.
that's 1 more rep than
Yeah.
doing nothing. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
That's where the mental strength and
Yeah.
CrossFit comes in. Because it's not only physical, but it's mental.
Oh,
Yeah,
huge.
because the thing is, I think that's what makes people keep on coming
Mm,
to CrossFit and buying into the brand, because you're an overcomer.
mm,
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
you're in that place, but you kept chipping away, and
Yeah.
you know you were better before, you know, before you started.
yeah.
So I think that's why people like that challenge.
Mm.
That even if it's 1 rep or 2, or getting your first pull up or your first handstand push up, or you know hitting a PR, there's always little victories.
Mm.
You know, I think that's what is the bait really about CrossFit, and what's so awesome about all these skills and learning all these things. That's what makes CrossFit so special.
Mm.
Is because it's almost you as an adult are constantly learning.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
constantly pushing,
Yeah.
constantly learning. You're stimulated in every area.
Yes.
You know, you're battling with yourself.
So true. Yeah.
You're battling against others.
Yes.
You know, you are building character in yourself while you're doing it. So not even knowing it, that by pushing through that another rep, or before the clock says 5 seconds, and you know you can actually get 3 more reps in, you do those 3 reps until that beep goes.
Yes.
That is the mindset,
So
that's the
true.
decision you make before you walk through the doors.
100%.
Go, man.
So true.
You go. Sorry, man. I'm just feeling the flow. Big wave can come over here. Ride that way.
I'm with you. I like the flow. It's good. We're flowing in the right direction. See, we're all talking in the right direction. Okay, so this is what I would like to ask the coaches. What are you going to say to Basil and Francesca? Beat me up. Every time they come in, they can't do something or they fail at something, and they beat themselves up. They come in there because we have members like that,
Yeah, ourselves
and
even.
ourselves as well. Like you know, you come in to do, you know, snatching or whatever you do, and it just completely bombs. And the workout didn't go the way you hoped it would go, and you deadlift, man. You deadlift, and you know, I mean, I came in here stupidly the other night, thinking I'm gonna pull 230 off the ground. Don't think I could pull 10 off the ground. So I broke my back and I went and I left home.
Broke my back. Back.
Feeling very sorry for myself. So, but what will you say to these to people that beat themselves up in workouts, after workouts, when they can't do lifts, when they miss a thing? What will you say to them?
That's a good question.
I think it's human nature to kind of be disappointed initially. Because obviously we're here because we want to get better at stuff. So I think everyone will have the element of disappointment. But I think if you stay there, you're going to be in a very dangerous place. You know, you'll constantly then that'll be your default setting. If you can't do something, it'll be like, okay, I'm going to just swing to that. Oh, I can't do it, I can never do it. And it can actually, it's like a rabbit hole. It's like a pit that you'll fall in every time. Whereas, like, as you say, mindset, you know, it's like handstand push-ups, whatever, you know, I get extremely frustrated, you know, and but saying, okay, all right, it was a bad day, and but I did more, and I'll keep going, and you know, I think there's yeah, you know.
I think it's I mean,
What
you
would you
guys,
say?
I would say that you need to get into a place where you know that your training doesn't define you.
That's right.
CrossFit doesn't define you.
That's it.
It isn't who you are as a human being. So coming in, trying this stuff, when you get a PB, flip and ring that bell and go mad, great, high five, you're going to feel good about yourself the rest of the day. But in the same breath, if you miss it, it doesn't distract from, you know, take anything away from who you are, or what you're able to do, and where you're on your way to.
That's right.
It's just another day that you've learned some stuff. And now next time you come back, it's going to be better.
And when you hit it, you can really celebrate it, isn't it?
Exactly, because now you put some now you've got some skin in the game.
Skin in the game.
You have to work a little bit harder.
That's right.
To get to where you want to be. So when you actually achieve that thing, it's like it's flippin' awesome.
Euphoria, man.
Because you failed so many
You've got
times.
skin, paid a price.
That old chestnut is not how you fall, as I get up, and you know, but not having it give you a bad mood and it be so heavy on you, and you know, you get home and you're like, I didn't do it.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think a lot of the times, I mean, even me, is you fall in love with the idea of being the person that is perfect at everything.
Yes.
And you have this picture in your head that you're at this finite stage, and that's where you want to get to, and that's where you want to go.
Yeah.
You kind of lose track of that actually there's a process
100%.
for the whole thing. Yeah. So rather fall in love with the process and fall in love with every day, getting a little bit better at that thing. Even some days are going to be down, and you're not going to feel like flip. I don't even want to do this workout, and you'll get a bad time. You'll be slow.
Yeah.
That is what it is.
That's where you are.
But other days you'll be flipping crush the workout, be things that you can do, and you'll love it. And I think if you switch your mindset to rather than, because I think even when you're a top athlete, you're still not going to be 100% amazing at everything. There's always going to be things you can work on. There'll always be things you can work on because no one's perfect. But if you enjoy the process and enjoy learning, enjoy getting better,
process, isn't it?
you'll get very quickly get yourself out of that dark place.
That's it, man.
Yeah. It can be a pretty exciting place. I know it's like, I didn't get it. But at the same time, you can take it as, it's actually cool because now I can open up my eyes and I can really hit it hard, you know, and like take time to meet yourself where you are so you can be honest with yourself and work from there. And if it takes you a week, then great. It's just a week of work, like hard work. If it's a month, it's also cool, but you kind of, it costs a bit more effort and, you know, knowledge and just kind of honesty with yourself.
100%.
But it tastes better when you actually, after that hard work, you then you're actually doing it and like wow, and you improving and you can see the progress and so it's rewarding.
That's very cool. That's very well done. Very well put. All right, so in the gym, you get different groups. You get people that come in here. They check that board out.
Always the first thing.
But I mean, it doesn't really matter what your ability is generally. If you're honest with yourself, there's always somebody chasing on that board.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got you got your people that you're kind of looking out for. All right. Just lay it out to the panel.
But if you're Magda, there's no one on that board. Let's be real.
Not yet, maybe. Yeah, I'm coming for you. Don't worry. Not yet.
You need to write.
Actually, in the male category.
Doesn't matter.
That's different.
Okay, but
Come on. Back to topic, boss.
Relax, please.
Sorry, boss.
No. Okay. So, is it better to have a look at the board and then come and do the workout, or do you think it's better to just hit the workout? This is just a fun question, but do you think it's better just to come and hit the workout and then see what your score is at the end, or is it better to see what your competitor has done, your frenemy? see what they have done, and then come in and be like, okay, I got to beat that. But then, if it's the last 30 seconds of the workout and you know that you're about 40 reps behind that person, are you then? Are you going to start counting in fours?
All 5,
Because-
7.
Because
10.
you guys think we don't count your reps.
Oh, we count, bro. We know. I'm not. We know.
Oh.
It's just that
Listen, you need to
Sometimes
count.
I look at those times, I'll be like,
you need to start counting my
way.
reps, because when I get tired, I start counting weird stuff. I realize my wife calls me up on it every day.
Right, I'll be at
frustration.
open, everyone. Don't
Yeah,
worry,
the
I'll take
open-
Costa.
In the open, I just keep moving. All right.
You
So,
move very well.
what do you reckon? Do you think that it is better to check the board or not? Okay, tell me that, and then also Faye, tell me who's your friend. Who do you check?
Oh, bro. Eesh,
Come on, mate.
Okay. Okay. But to answer the question,
Blessing.
blessing. Come on.
Yeah.
Blessing. Okay, we'll get to that. But I feel
It's a terrible word.
that the worst
It's
thing
like
you
fake.
can do is check the board before a workout.
The worst
For
thing.
me, that's the worst thing I can do, because then it kind of distracts me from the purpose of the workout. The purpose of the workout for me is to try and improve what I can do, or see where I am at this, whatever the work, if it's weightlifting, if it's running, if it's gymnastics. A lot of the time when it's gymnastics, I don't even look at the board, because I'm bad at gymnastics, so I'm going to use this workout as for me to try and
100%.
improve my gymnastics.
Yeah.
So I think when you check the board, you put a pressure on yourself that doesn't need to be there to perform for the board.
Yeah.
When you don't
Or
need
lift
to
the
perform,
weight, you shouldn't be lifting.
you don't need
Yeah.
to perform for the board. You need to perform for where you're at and where you're going.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it is fun sometimes when it's a workout like I know I can do, like a 5K run,
Engine.
and I'm like, Ish, let me just check the times. Let me see what the best time is for the day. So when you know you've got it, you're
What are you
asking.
man saying? What are you man saying?
Let's see. And then you're like, okay, cool, that's the time.
What is under your 5K time, best time?
I've never got under 20 minutes. And that's the
You've
goal.
never?
Never got under 20
For
minutes.
5K.
Really?
My best has been sub 22, but I gotta try
No
and get
way,
sub 20.
bro. You can
Oh wait,
definitely.
under 20 minutes 5K?
Mm.
No, but that is
It's
that is
hard.
super hard.
It's so hard.
That's 4 minutes. Okay. That is
Yeah,
super
super
hard.
hard.
You can do it, babes.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna go for it.
That
Heavy.
Yeah.
My friend and me,
So good.
I'm just gonna say, I'm being honest with you guys and the panel as well, people watching at home. Obviously, some of you might know. But I don't know. A friend of me's. I think I try and a few.
It's fake.
It's not. They're my competitors.
Frenemy.
No, just
It's your
say.
friend, but it's somebody in the workout you want to beat. I was okay, don't use it.
Okay.
Like I have the tiger.
Just
Yeah.
call it your person you're competing against.
Okay. My workout buddy is.
That's it, yeah. I like that.
I would say for any sort of WOD, any sort of WOD, I like to have Tommy up there. He's like, okay, if I see what he does, and I go with him. Then when it comes to lifting, I try and keep up with Terry. He's ahead of me, but I try and keep up with Terry.
Nice.
And then when it comes to the endurance or the running, I mean, there's only one person who really like runs through walls, and that's Paul Bosch. And he's fast. You know he's gonna go. So they're probably my three workout buddies. I would say they're the ones I'm chasing.
Big units.
Yeah, they're big animals.
So what is it gonna be? Okay, yeah, you probably don't look at the board, but
No.
did you? Was there a time?
She beats me.
Was there a time that you did look at the board?
Back in the day.
Oh, dear.
Listen, I don't know, I'm like, back in the day, like, I remember, for me, the board was there to kind of have it for my own notes, so I can see in the future. No, but like, just for my notes on that day, so in the future I know where I was. It was, like, at the beginning, I didn't even think about comparing, you know, like, but I knew all the guys were comparing to AD, because AD used to put his score every day on the board. And his score was like really high.
Yeah.
And then I started having that idea, oh, okay, so they try to actually get close to that time. So but from the beginning, I don't know, I just don't think it's a good way of trying to approach the workout. It's good to know, like, if you have that kind of piece in your mind, like, oh, it's good to know where someone is, like, what kind of abilities I need, or like what kind of capacity I need for that workout. But ideally, you want to really meet yourself at that workout, the best you in that time. And
100% agree.
And if you don't, and like Favor said, if you put that pressure on yourself to beat that time or to be close to that time, it's like, it's very hard to meet yourself or be pleased with what you're doing. Or sometimes, you know, you might be surprised that, oh, actually I did better than I thought. But as long as you're honest and you just do it for your own benefits, that's, I think, then check the board. Like, depends what kind of attitude you have.
Great answer, but who's your workout buddy?
Luke! Of course! That's the only person. That's the only person.
Come on.
Okay, but do you have any?
I don't have much. I think Mags is a great target for me. You know, she's another level and phenomenal athlete. So for me, it's to even sniff her would be a privilege. You know.
Come close.
So yeah, I think as Mags put it so well. You know, we all lift different weights, and I think women have such a preconceived idea about comparison. I think it's extremely unhealthy in today's world. You know, so I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, compare myself, because I'm at where I'm at. You know, and you know, I'm working on my weaknesses, and everyone has weaknesses and chinks in their armor. But and people can do things better than me. You know, people do things better than me, and that is cool. And sitting here and talking about it and stuff, yeah, I used to kind of be like, oh, you know, but I got over it very quickly, because I'm at where I'm at, and I'm not going to sit and compare myself, because otherwise, mentally, it's not good for you, bro.
No,
it's not good for you.
It's not good for you.
I think we're closing up.
Yeah,
Last time. Went quickly again.
Yeah, sometimes in the pit, man.
Go on.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is on the notes. CrossFit where you are at. CrossFit where you're at. And I think this is a good way to finish this podcast. We talked about mental things. We talked about, you know, what you find tough about CrossFit and all this kind of stuff. But I think to be GPP, generally physically prepared, you have to meet yourself where you're at.
That's right.
And we joke about the board, and there's always a competitive edge, and people can always say what they want to say, but the reality is that that's human nature. We're always going to have a little bit of competition towards each other. But if you are not going to give yourself over to becoming the best you and to try and draw out your best potential, then this thing is going to be something, is going to become something to you that was never supposed to be.
Yes, man.
CrossFit is there to help you to become the best physical specimen of yourself you can possibly be. We give you the tools to do those things. What happens? Let's look like this. What happens if you don't see it like that? You start skipping reps, you start cheating, you start becoming very hard on yourself. When you do miss a lift, when you do miss stuff, it becomes a heavy. You leave this place heavy, you come back heavy. If you can't do skills and not willing to be patient with your skills, then eventually you decide, nah, it's not for me. If you start competing with other people constantly and you get called out for no reps and stuff like that, it becomes a place that it was never supposed to be. This is a good place to come for you to become the best you can possibly be. So whatever that is, whatever that board says, whatever that workout is, you have to look at that board and be like, I need to do my best.
Yes.
I don't like thrusters, but today I'm going to be the boss of a thruster. I'm going to go for it and I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah,
I don't care what the rest of the class are doing.
That's
I'm
right,
going to be
man.
the best me. That is why we are what we are, Tiger Pit CrossFit, because we welcome every ability into this place.
That's right, man.
And from the best ability to the people that have just started joining CrossFit or just started joining this Tiger Pit, we give you the ability to come and be the best you.
That's it.
But that's only going to happen if you're willing to put in the time, be patient about it, and meet yourself where you are at.
And have fun along the way. You know.
Have lots of fun along the way. Enjoy the Frenchman in the background.
That's right.
Have fun. Learn to feel what it is like to go into that dark place. When you meet that dark place, what are you going to do? And that's the ultimate challenge really, is what are you going to do? Because are you going to push a little bit harder, deeper in? Are you going to retract? Or are you going to try and stay there? And that's what makes it exciting. There's so many elements to it.
Yes.
Cool.
Well,
That was fun, man.
it's been a pleasure, guys.
Episode 2. Boom. Done.
Hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's a good toilet viewing.
Toilet viewing, lunch viewing, kids on bed, cleaning,
Okay.
painting.
Any last words?
Any last words from the panel? Max?
I'm out.
Max did well today, I must say. You know, you came with some good nuggets.
Yeah, she did a lot more talking than last time.
Nice. Shit.
Come on, let's say slowly.
I see.
Slowly.
Becoming more comfortable here in front of the camera.
That's what it's about. Visual be the thing, bro.
Yeah. You should actually you should have a flow master every time, different flow master.
Yeah, you should do it.
And I have the questions and I ask the question and it be next time.
Yeah, you need to
someone
be on
else.
the panel. Yeah,
Let's
you
do
need
it.
to answer the question. Okay?
Yeah, let's do it next time.
Okay, next time.
Episode 3,
This
I'll
is
be
the
the
seat.
flow master.
This is the seat, the flow master seat.
Yeah. Okay, but now we're brainstorming. Okay.
Okay. Let's
Boom.
cut it. Till the
Adios.
next one. Adios.
Out.